Welcome back everyone, this is episode 13 review part 2. Today, we're diving into episode 13 of ABO Desire the series. This episode gave us one of the most heartfelt and emotionally complicated developments yet, especially for Sheng Shaoyou and Huayong. Their relationship, which has always been hovering between push and pull, finally digs deep into their history, misunderstandings, and subtle attempts to reshape each other. It's a turning point episode that doesn't rely on dramatic confrontations or sudden reveals, but instead builds its emotional core around memory, patience, and the quiet but powerful ways love tries to grow between two very different people. The episode kicks off with that unforgettable exchange, "When did you meet me? How did you meet me?" Huayong answers calmly, 15 years ago, in Japan. For a moment, the air stands still. Sheng Shaoyou is confused, frowning as he tries to piece together the timeline. Huayong is 23 now, which means back then, when he claims they first met, he was just 8 years old. The numbers don't add up in Sheng Shaoyou's head, and his frustration only grows as he tries to recall any memory of meeting this person he's slowly come to care about. But no matter how hard he tries, there's nothing. He cannot remember Huayong from that time in Japan, even though his father Sheng Fang often took him on business trips there. This small moment unravels a lot for the viewers. For Huayong, the memory of meeting Sheng Shaoyou is crystal clear, almost like a defining moment that shaped how he looked at him ever since. But for Sheng Shaoyou, it's gone, lost somewhere in the fog of time, business trips, and a privileged life full of distractions. This imbalance, one remembering vividly, one forgetting completely, becomes the emotional backdrop of their romance in this episode. What makes Huayong such a compelling character here is his response. He admits to himself that he knew Sheng Shaoyou would not remember. He knew that his beloved was forgetful, fickle, and never really attached to anyone deeply. Still, there's disappointment in his eyes when he realizes that the person who holds his heart doesn't carry the same memory. Yet instead of turning bitter, Huayong decides to approach love differently. He doesn't confront or force Sheng Shaoyou to remember. Instead, he takes the long route, changing him slowly, step by step, with patience and small acts that might seem insignificant at first. The show gives us examples of this subtle effort. Huayong deliberately does things that push Sheng Shaoyou out of his comfort zone, like baking him biscuits he doesn't eat, or preparing traditional Chinese breakfasts even when he knows Sheng Shaoyou prefers Western ones. To a casual eye, these might seem like mistakes or little annoyances, but Huayong's strategy is clever. He's trying to create moments where Sheng Shaoyou has to pause, adjust, and compromise. And he believes that tolerance, this act of giving way for another person, is the first step toward love. This idea is beautifully woven into their interactions. Unlike the loud, dramatic gestures we often see in BL series, here the romance blooms in quiet trials. Huayong is almost testing the waters, planting seeds of change. Will Sheng Shaoyou resist? Will he soften? It's not about forcing affection, but about showing that real love isn't about perfect compatibility, it's about willingness to adjust, to accept small discomforts because someone else matters. And this is where Sheng Shaoyou's character development begins to shine. For so long, he has been portrayed as confident, maybe even arrogant, shaped by his wealthy upbringing and his father's world of business and science. He's used to getting what he wants, used to people bending to him, not the other way around. But with Huayong, that balance is shifting. These small minefields that Huayong sets up are forcing him to reflect on his own habits. Even if he reacts with irritation at first, the fact that he doesn't walk away shows that something inside him is starting to change. He stays, he tries. That, in itself, is huge for someone like Sheng Shaoyou. The flashbacks and dialogue also add layers to this theme. Sheng Fang's history of traveling to Japan, recruiting young scientific talents, and bringing Sheng Shaoyou along paints a backdrop of privilege and exposure. It makes sense that Sheng Shaoyou can't remember one small boy from those years, it wasn't meaningful to him then. But for Huayong, who might have been watching him from a distance, or meeting him in a fleeting but impactful moment, it became a memory that stuck. That contrast, what we choose to hold on to versus what slips away, becomes symbolic of their relationship. Episode 13 also highlights the vulnerability of Huayong. While he appears calm and even a little mischievous in trying to train Sheng Shaoyou, there's a deeper longing beneath his actions. He's not just playing games. He's hoping, quietly, that this person who has forgotten him will eventually remember, not necessarily the past, but him, here and now, in the present. That's the true beauty of his patience. He doesn't expect the past to magically return. He wants to build a future where Sheng Shaoyou willingly compromises, willingly loves him back. What makes this episode powerful is that it doesn't offer quick resolutions. Sheng Shaoyou still doesn't remember the Japan meeting. He still bristles at Huayong's little provocations. But the viewers can see the slow shift, the tiny cracks forming in his walls. Love here isn't explosive, it's persistent, it's steady. It's Huayong refusing to give up even when faced with forgetfulness and indifference, because he believes that one day Sheng Shaoyou will understand what he's trying to teach him, that love means giving way, love means compromise. As a viewer, it's refreshing to watch a BL series that doesn't just rely on dramatic confessions or forced intimacy. Instead, it takes us through the quiet labor of building a relationship. Huayong's methods may seem frustrating to some, but they're undeniably rooted in care. He wants Sheng Shaoyou not just to love him, but to grow as a person, to become someone who can share, tolerate, and eventually put someone else first. And slowly, Sheng Shaoyou is taking the bait, not because he's being manipulated, but because he's starting to feel that Huayong is worth it. By the end of the episode, we're left with a bittersweet tone. Huayong still remembers a past that Sheng Shaoyou has forgotten, but instead of letting that become a wall, he's using it as motivation to keep moving forward. And Sheng Shaoyou, despite his confusion and annoyance, doesn't walk away. That's the biggest sign that love is slowly, quietly, doing its work. Episode 13 of ABO Desire the series is not just about romance, it's about memory, patience, and the long, often difficult journey of learning to meet someone halfway. Huayong shows us that love isn't about immediate gratification but about endurance. And Sheng Shaoyou shows us that even the most stubborn hearts can begin to soften when someone refuses to give up on them.